This is the first electronic guitar with no strings. You can play a full 12 notes in 2 octaves.
Or you can play 12 songs from the computer memory.
And the computer can even record as we play.
Kenner proudly presents Star Wars Electronic Battle Command, the computerized space battle game.
Enemy scan on. I see you.
Battle Station.
Red alert.
Star Wars Electronic Battle Command has computer scanners, force units, invisible shields.
Fire!
3 levels of play, basic, intermediate, and advanced.
TIE fighters hit. Hey, Dad, let's play the basic game. You always get carried away.
Star Wars Electronic Battle Command, new from Kenner.
My mechanic had to be certified by Shell before he could work on my car. I didn't expect that.
Shell Auto Care. It's everything you never expected car repairs to be.
Making a difference in the lives of today's girls, tomorrow's women. Girls Clubs of Greater Indianapolis.
Where were you?
Tonight, live from Pike High School in Indianapolis, it's the Indiana High School Game of the Week, with the Speedway Spark Plugs meeting the Red Devils of Pike. The Game of the Week is brought to you in part by American Fletcher National Bank. American Fletcher says, we want to be your bank. And by Hooks, your pharmacist in green. And now to call the play-by-play, here is WIBC's Jerry Baker.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the first of our TV4 Game of the Week telecast throughout this upcoming basketball season. Oh, we got a great season lined up for you. Some of the top teams in the state throughout the entire season, taking us right into the state finals in March downtown at Market Square Arena. Tonight we're on hand at Pike High School on the northwest side of the city of Indianapolis, where the Red Devils will play host to the Spark Plugs of Speedway High School. First time we have seen either of these ball clubs in our TV4 telecast basketball Game of the Week. The Red Devils of Pike are 1-0 as they roll past the Ben Davis Giants last Friday night, 68-58. 6'2" senior forward Mike Whiteside keyed that opening victory with 27 points, but in the past and certainly in the future, this is the young man who will carry a huge portion of the load for head coach Ed Siegel. He is number 10, 6-foot senior guard David Gaddis. He was the top Red Devil scorer last year, second in the county with a 22.8 average. He was the player of the year in the Central Suburban Athletic Conference, most valuable player on the Pike team, and UPI named him to its honorable mention all-state team. That is David Gaddis, number 10. The Speedway Spark Plugs came up on the short end of a 60-56 score with Beach Grove in their opener last Friday evening, a game they were in right to the final buzzer. Now this youngster here, number 34, Craig Hoagie, a 6'1" senior guard, provided the power for the Plugs with 20 points, including a bucket with 4 seconds to go to pull them to within 1. He was the leading scorer for head coach Morris Potter last season and was selected the team's MVP. Expect to see a great deal of number 34, Craig Hoagie, this evening. The first of a number of great high school basketball games. The Pike Red Devils, the Spark Plugs of Speedway High. And we'll be back with the opening tip-off in just a moment.
Every day, friends and neighbors get in their cars without speaking to each other and drive to the very same place. Now, some like us because we're so convenient.
Others like our prices or our selection. But with gasoline prices what they are today, may we suggest a better way? Before you come to us, go to a neighbor and ask,
Hi, is there anything I can bring you from Hook?
At American Fletcher, we're taking personal service one step better. We're putting service on a first-name basis. With our customer service and customer assistance representatives, now you'll have a name to go with the face. And we think that'll go a long way toward giving you the special personal service you want and deserve.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you, Jane.
At American Fletcher, we want to be your bank on a first-name basis.
Holiday Joy from Wilco, a timely sale of beautiful giftable robes. Only $14.44 for this Dick Front classic of sculptured acrylic tile. Only $13.44 for this regal hostess robe of softest fleece, flourished with lace. And only $21 for this easy wrap of furry look tile in rich jewel tones. See these and many more on sale at Wilco now. We make gift saving fashionable.
What's the scoop on new soft Philadelphia brand cream cheese? It's spread ready, smooth, spread ready, soft, spread ready, whatever you want it. New soft Philly cream cheese from Kraft. It's the cream cheese you love, only softer, right out of the fridge. Spread ready, spread ready. New soft Philly cream cheese. Creamy, smooth, and ready to spread and spread. Spread ready, spread.
The presentation of the colors by the Pike High School band playing our national anthem. We're just literally seconds away from beginning what is going to be, I think, a tremendous year of high school basketball here on TV4. Pike and Speedway, first-timers on our telecast of the week. Pike won last week in their opener. Speedway came up on the short end of their score, but nonetheless, we're in that basketball game right down to the final wire. As a matter of fact, against Ben Davis, Speedway led 13-10 at the end of the first period. I beg your pardon, should be against Beach Grove. They were led 13-10 at the end of the first period. They were trailing 28-26 at the second period mark, at the halftime mark. At the end of 3 periods, it was tie ball game at 40 all. And Speedway was down by 1 point with only 4 seconds to go before they ended up on the short end of that 60 and 56 scored. On the other hand, the Pike Red Devils 1-0. They knocked off the Ben Davis Giants at Ben Davis by a count of 68-58. And they did it mainly without the output of David Gaddis, who was their outstanding 6-foot senior guard, who had only 5 points in that ball game. His average last year was 22.8. And the reason he didn't get a whole lot of points, aside from probably a rather strong defensive effort employed by the Giants, was the fact that he got himself in early foul trouble and spent a great portion of that game sitting on the bench. He only played 8 minutes, as a matter of fact. Speedway, the kind of a ball club, and I talked with Morris Pollard, who was their head coach. He says he's not quite sure what he has this year. With that opening game loss, of course, it's always a tough way to start the season. And tonight, looking forward to this game against the Pike Ball Club that a lot of the so-called basketball experts out in the county figure is going to be one of the contenders for the title this year. We're in the Pike High School gymnasium. They've got quite a facility here on the northwest side, an excellent gymnastics area, and likewise a new gymnasium going up nearby that'll be used mainly for intramural activities. Now, let's get the introduction of tonight's starting lineups. Here is our public address announcer tonight, Joe Thresher. Joe?
Everybody is just starting lineup. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention, please, to tonight's starting lineup. First, for the Speedway Spark Plugs. Starting at 1 forward, number 30, Gary Rakes.
Gary Rakes, a 6'2 senior.
Starting at the other forward, number 34, Joe Dunn.
Comes from the family of Dunns of quite an historic background as far as basketball is concerned. Joe Dunn, 6'1 junior.
Okay, pardon. Starting at center, number 50, Doug Roberson.
Roberson had 12 points in that loss to Beech Grove. He is a senior. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall.
Starting at one guard, number 24, Scott Curry.
Curry's a 5'10 senior, good shooter, has outstanding speed.
And starting at the other guard, number 34, Craig Hoagie.
Spells his name H-O-G-E. Craig Hoagie, a senior, is 6'1".
The Spark Plugs are coached by Mr. Morris Pollard, beginning his 24th year at Speedway.
Well, here's a man who's been around for a long time. That's him right.
And now for the Pike Red Devils. Starting at one forward, number 22, Mike Whiteside.
A junior letterman. Mike had 27 points in the victory over Ben Davis. Mike is a senior at 6 feet 2 inches tall.
At the other forward, number 32, Joe Kimbrough.
He's the biggest man in that forward slot. He is 6'3", a senior, 12 points in the opening game win.
Starting at center, number 42, Kit Tram.
Tram is a 6'7.5" junior, third-year varsity player. He is quite a youngster.
At one guard, number 11, Mark Gaddis.
Matt Gaddis, a sophomore. He is 6 feet tall. His name is not Mike or Mark, it's Matt.
And at the other guard, number 10, David Gaddis.
And that's his brother, David Gaddis, the youngster we talked about a few moments ago, a senior at 6 feet tall.
The Red Devils are coached by Mr. Ed Siegel.
And Ed Siegel, who's a graduate of Franklin College, got his AB degree down there in '54, got his master's degree from IU in 1960. He has been the head coach here of the Pike Red Devils since 1970. The officials for tonight's ball game will be Bill Pittman and Ron Ramsey. Both are from Indianapolis. There is Bill right there. He's the referee tonight. And we're set to go with our first game of the year on TV4, and we've got some good ones already lined up. We'll be telling you about those games throughout the context of tonight's telecast, and of course many of them not as of yet scheduled because we're waiting to check the games of import as the season progresses. The Red Devils of Pike High School, dressed in the home whites, trimmed in red. The Speedway Sparkplugs, dressed in the traveling brown, trimmed in gold and white. And we're ready to go now as Doug Roberson, 6'4" senior for Speedway, steps in against Kit Tram, 6'7.5" junior for Pike. And our first telecast of the year is underway, and the ball is saved by Pike, thrown back inbounds deep to the Red Devils' Kit Tram. On the baseline left side, shot off the rim, and the rebound comes off the Speedway. We'll set them up for you. Craig Hoagie is 34. That is Scott Curry, number 24, penetrating left side. Getting it down to the big guy, Roberson. Back out to the point again. Now working it back down to Hoagie again. In trouble inside. Got a bunch of heavy traffic and still got the hoop. Hoagie was the leading scorer on the Speedway Ball Club last year. And as I mentioned, he had 20 in the opening game loss to Beech Grove. That heartbreaker 60-56. So the early lead belongs to Speedway. Mike will go right back to the title as Tom Kimbrough, Joe Kimbrough, hits in the baseline left side. Third-year varsity player, the top field goal shooter on this club last year. He shot 54% from the field. Locked up at 2. Speedway basketball. Rakes. Back outside now to Scott Curry. Rebound, pulled out, put back up and good by Craig Hoagie again. Hoagie's second bucket. Speedway doing a good job early in this ball game with only a minute gone. Penetrating, following up on the missed shots. Pike working it inside. Excellent baseline move, but no result. Whistle foul. Reaching in, first foul of the game belongs to Kit Tram. Whiteside made a good effort getting inside, and Tram trying to go for the rebound, picks up personal foul number 1. It's a 4-2 basketball game now with Speedway out in front on a pair of Craig Hoagie field goals. Now you see Pike into the full court press. When they miss, they will go into that full court zone. When they make it, they'll drop back to a man-to-man. Joe Dunn playing outside. Hoagie. Point man is Scott Curry, a 5'10 senior. Left side is Rakes. Roberson's in the man in the middle trying to play down low. They're trying to work it inside to him. They cannot. Excellent pass and a lane violation, 3-second lane violation called, I think, on Rakes. Rakes had done a good job inside when the traffic was heavy, clearing the ball out on the near side to Dunn. And then Rakes forgot to clear the lane. He had a shot of Ed Siegel, the head basketball coach at Pike High School. Couple of minutes gone, first period. Long-range shot. Up to the bottom of the bucket for David Gaddis. There were a number of scouts in the stands last week at that Ben Davis game, and undoubtedly there will be a lot more throughout the year. Gaddis is being scouted by a number of major colleges who think this youngster has what it takes to play big-time college basketball. We're tied at 4 with 5.5 minutes to go first period. Second time it has been tied up tonight. Dunn to Hoagie. And Hoagie knocks home his third bucket. I don't think Hoagie is missed yet. He has all 6 of the points, and that puts Speedway back in front again. Speedway uses a matchup zone. They will set their players in a specific position on the floor. It's almost like a sliding man-to-man defense. And Gaddis answers by shooting over that zone, left side corner court, for his second bucket of the ball game. We're tied at 6. Third time it's been locked up. Hoagie has all 6 of the Speedway points. Point man again is Scott Curry. Well, they work the ball inside to Hoagie. Hoagie wants it again. This time it won't go. And the rebound is put forward, pulled out of there by Kit Cram. And the first foul of the ball game will go against Speedway. It is on Scott Curry. Number 1 on Scott, first against the ball club. As you well know, in high school basketball, the so-called bonus rule, the 2-shot rule, would go into effect on the 5th personal foul. You're allowed 5, and then you're gone. And we have gone down to 4:37 in the opening period. Across the way, the Pike cheering section, you'll see them to the right of your screen. They're up on their feet, been there since the opening gun. Off the mark, the rebound yanked down by Joe Dunn. And here comes Speedway again. You see number 34, Craig Hoagie. He's been the man so far who's scored all the points and has handled the basketball a great deal of the time. Rakes coming out from that forward spot. Now they're going inside of Hoagie again, who's basically listed as a guard. Hoagie breaks inside and gets the hoop. Hoagie was the most valuable player on this ball club last year. It's not too hard to see why. He comes into tonight's ball game after having scored 20 points in the loss to Beech Grove. Yeah, that Beech Grove ball club's a pretty good outfit this year, I'm told. Inside 4 minutes. Won't go. Pike's having trouble with the lid on the hoop right now. Mac Gaddis out to brother David. David Gaddis, a 22.8 scorer last year, has 6 points thus far in the ball game. He had only 5 the entire affair against Ben Davis last Friday night, so obviously he's got his shooting shirt on tonight. We're tied at 8. 4th time it's been locked up. Speedway throws it away. 3 minutes, 26 seconds. There is Ed Siegel. I think you all know the story how Ed lost a son, Mark, who was a freshman member of that University of Evansville basketball team. A plane crash in December of 2 years back. It's been 2 long years. And that had to be a tragic moment in his life. There is Mac Gaddis getting his first hoop of the evening. Mac Gaddis and David Gaddis, good outside shooters. One trying to get the ball to the deep man, and Kit Cram does the interception. And for the first time in the ball game, the Pike Red Devils have the lead at 10-8. David and Mac, good outside shooters. They got a good man inside, and Cram, that's him right there. Fine rebound by Doug Roberson. Cram trying to work inside with the first really close shot of the ball game. Left corner, Curry. Short. Rebound picked up in there by Cram again. The outlet pass comes out to Whiteside. Whiteside going up for it. There's number 10, David Gaddis, his 4th field goal. But boy, Whiteside did an excellent job getting the ball to him. And a 4-point lead is the biggest for either ball club at this juncture of the basketball game. 2 minutes, 22 seconds to play, first period. They move inside with 34 again. That's Hoagie. All 10 of the points Speedway has come up with go down to the scoring column with Craig Hoagie, a senior at 6'1". Speedway and wasting no time. They're getting it up and letting it fly. And that's Gaddis again. David Gaddis, as I mentioned with the opening stand-up, was the player of the year in the Central Suburban Athletic Conference last year, and of course made the first-team all-conference squad. It's not too hard to figure out why. He's hit for 5 field goals at this point in the basketball game with 1:45 to go in the opening period. 14-10. Still Speedway trailing. They have the ball. And this is Scott Curry. The rebound yanked down by Gary Rakes. Lost, but picked back up inside, and a whistle and a foul. And the first foul against the home court Pike Red Devils will be against number 22. That is Mike Whiteside, making the second foul against Pike. Number 1 on Whiteside. And fouled in the act of shooting, and Roberson goes to the line. Doug is a senior at 6'4". He'll get a couple of shots. 1:32 to play, first period. Roberson thus becomes the first player on the Speedway squad to score other than Craig Hoagie. Rebound Trav, quickly on the outlet pass to David Gaddis. Wants the 20-footer right side and got it again. David Gaddis shot just over 50% from the floor last year. Speedway in a hurry to get it back up. Good defensive play, but apparently some contact on the part of number 32, Joe Kimbrough. They called the personal foul on Kimbrough. That's his first of the game. Third against the club, and here it's again Curry was in the act of shooting. He'll go to the line. Look at it one more time here. It is almost an excellent steal on the part of Kimbrough, number 32. But the foul goes against him. And a substitution now. Whiteside comes out of the lineup for Pike. And going into the ball game is number 30, Jay Jump, a senior at 6'4". Strong inside player. He's like the sixth man off the bench. Had a good ball game against Ben Davis when he came in with 10 points. Curry missing on the opening free throw. Speedway now 1 out of 3 from the line. 16-11 score. Kimbrough pulls off the missed shot. And the Pike Red Devils bring it up court again. Gaddis partially blocked short. Over the top of the backboard and picked off by Speedway. Craig Hoagie will bring it up court and throws it away. He was trying to go to Scott Curry on the outlet pass and just let him too much. So we're down to 1:04 to play in the first period, and it's 16-11 now. Pike out in front. Bailey on some excellent outside shooting from David Gaddis, who has his 6th field goal. Gaddis, long range, got it. Gaddis has maybe missed 1 or 2 shots, and that's been about it. And a timeout has been called, I believe. We're down to 49 seconds to play in the first period, and the score, the Pike Red Devils 16, the Spark Plugs of Speedway 11. We're back in just a moment.
At American Fletcher, we're taking personal service one step better. We're putting service on a first-name basis. With our customer service and customer assistance representatives, now you'll have a name to go with the face. And we think that'll go a long way toward giving you the special personal service you want and deserve.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you, Jane.
At American Fletcher, we want to be your bank on a first-name basis.
Stress can rob your body of B and C vitamins faster than you may replace them if your diet is inadequate. Stress Tab 600s help you correct overwork, fad dieting, and other stress situations. Each Stress Tab 600 contains 600 milligrams of vitamin C and B complex, plus the recommended daily allowance of natural vitamin E. So help keep your body in good nutritional balance with Stress Tab 600s, available now at your neighborhood Hooks Dependable Drugs.
There's a little message to one of the Pike fans. Obviously not in attendance tonight. Get well, Michelle. We extend our best wishes also to Michelle. 7-point lead now for Pike. They're out in front, 18-11. We're down to 42 seconds to play in the opening period. Pike had a little trouble getting on track early. Once they got it out in front, they've been in command pretty much most of the way. Whistle, walking violation called against number 34, Craig Hoagie. officials over near the near side wants to talk with the scoring and timing bench again. Play back ends. Pike with the basketball. Yeah, that is 32 Joe Kimbrough handling it now. Mac Gaddis, brother David, back to Mac again. Mac will take the 10-footer. Rebound loose inside. Finally picked out by Speedway. And out of the heavy traffic with it is Joe Dunn. Joe had a brother John that played for Butler for 4 years. Made all-conference a couple of years, as a matter of fact. Brother Tom plays for Miami of Ohio. Hoagie's shot blocked away. Good defensive effort inside with the big guys of Pike. We're down to 1 second. The shot is up. It is no good. Would not have counted had it gone. So we've reached the end of the first period of play on the score. The Pike Red Devils 18, the Spark Plugs of Speedway 11. Second period action just seconds away.
Everyone knows that a smile means that you're feeling good. This year, Hook's Pharmacists in Green will fill over 8 million prescriptions. That should help keep a lot of people smiling. And smiles mean a lot to us. If it's important to your family's health, it's important to Hook's. Dependable drugstores.
I want 24-hour banking that's always close by.
Sometimes I need to do my banking in the car instead of in the bank. With my schedule, my bank just has to be convenient.
American Fletcher has more banking centers, drive-ins, walk-ups, and bank machines than any other bank in town.
At American Fletcher, we want to be your bank.
At one point of the first period, the ball game was tied at 8-all. It is now 18-11, which would indicate, if my math is anywhere near accurate, that Pike outscored Speedway by a 10-3 margin in the final 3 or 4 minutes of that first period of play. 18-11, Speedway being led with the 10 points of Craig Hoagie, 10 of the 11 showing up there. David Gaddis had a great first period for Pike. He had 14 points on 7 field goals. It's 18-11, second period underway, and Speedway controls the tap. The Spark Plugs working the goal to our right here in the first half of play. New man of the lineup is Jim Butterworth, number 22. Rebound under the hoop, put back up by Butterworth, and he scores. He is the first man off the bench for Speedway head coach Morris Pollard. 5'10" junior, had 6 points in the loss to Beech Grove last Friday night. That chops the margin down to 18-13. The Gaddis brothers out back. David getting it down inside and low to Jay Jump. Shot goes in and comes back out of there, and Roberson can't find the handle. Jump's got it. He is fouled. Gary Rakes will be tabbed with that personal foul. For Gary, that is number 1. Yeah, that time the ball just simply did not fall right. Well, the Speedway Spark Plugs keep an eye out of here. Here's the loose ball, and here comes the collision. There's number 30. Jump going in for the layup, and here comes the foul over the shoulder. On number 40, Gary Rakes, his first foul of the game. Jay Jump, strong inside player, 41% shooter from the field and 74% from the line last year for the Pike Ball Club. Pike last year was 14-8. They won the Central Suburban Conference title. This year, Ed Siegel says they look good on paper, but just how good is a question mark. Right now, they look pretty effective as Jay Jump gets his first point of the night. Ed said that one of the things they've got to work on as far as Pike is concerned is team and individual consistency. If they're an experienced ball club, they get 5 of their top 6 scorers back. Jay Jump getting the first 2 points in the second period puts the lead back to 7 at 20-13, knocked away across the way. Into the Pike cheering section, you have a good look at number 10, David Gaddis, number 30, Jay Jump, and Speedway will inbounds. 45 seconds gone in this second period. Features on both of these fine schools at halftime. Chris Carson's put together a good little display of the schools for you. Joe Kimbrough, second bucket of the game for Joe. Got his first in the opening period. Kimbrough's 4th point of the night. Makes it a 22-13 lead. That's the biggest lead that either ball club has enjoyed. Pike out in front by 9. Minute 10 gone, second period. Hoagie makes the penetration, but then is fouled going to the hoop. We'll wait and see who the foul is on. It is on number 30, and that'll be Jay Jump. Look at it again. Hoagie is the man who's been the key as far as the ball game has been so far for Speedway. You see him trying to penetrate. You see number 30, Jay Jump, trying to shut him off from getting that extra step. He did stop him and picked up the personal foul. Against Pike, that's the 4th foul. We'll go into the shooting fouls in the next 6 minutes, 40 seconds to play. First half. Hoagie again. Way off the mark this time. He's starting to force the ball. Rebound pulled down by Kimbrew. K-I-M-B-R-E-W. 6.5 minutes of playing time remain in the first half, and the Gaddis guys are outside. That is David. Call for the walk. David Gaddis in the first period got off to a reasonably slow start, but once he found the bottom of the hoop, he just about wore it out with 7 field goals, 14 of the 18 points that Pike scored. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the half. Hoagie again. Nice pass by Hoagie, and they got the bucket on Roberson's layup. That is Doug's first field goal of the game, and an excellent move that time by Hoagie, who has been putting the ball in the hole every time he gets an opportunity. That time he dished it off, and the Speedway Spark Plugs came up with a bucket. David Gaddis outside. 16 points for David. Gaddis was honorable mention All-State by United Press International last year. Pretty heady people he was hanging around in that category. Back to a 9-point lead, though, for Pike. Very much in command of the basketball game right now. And a man-to-man. And Hoagie knocks one home again. Talking with that signal before the ball game, we're liable to see any kind of a defensive alignment out of his Pike Red Devils. They got the man-to-man, the zone, of course, and they'll switch periodically throughout the game. David Gaddis off to the left this side. Rebound by Jump, puts it right back up and scores. Jay Jump. There are 2 sets of brothers on this club, the Gaddis brothers and the Jump brothers, Jay and Gray. Jay's in the lineup now. Lead back to 9. 5 minutes and 5 seconds to play in this first half. Hoagie at the point. He and Curry are the guards, starting guards in this ball game. Right now it's Butterworth, a 5'10 junior, who's come in to play at the guard slot. Bounce pass down low, left side. Nice reverse layup. It would not fall that time for Joe Dunn, and the rebound comes off to the Pike Red Devils. 4:45 to go in the half. Here's Mac. Mac Gaddis. His second bucket. So if David isn't out there, Mac is. Now it's an 11-point lead, 28-17. Timeout has been called by Speedway. Spark Plugs trail by that 28-17 mark. 4:34 to go. First half, and we're back in a minute.
For some people, there's a certain sense of satisfaction that comes from being involved. Maybe it's not fashionable to like people anymore, but these folks still care. And it's really quite simple. If you want to get to know the people around you, you've got to get out and do things with them. Oh, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just doing something that counts. And that's a lot easier when your company encourages and appreciates your involvement in your community.
When you need someone to turn to, let us be.
Just looking ahead to next week, we've got a great one for you. We're going to be going out to the famed Wigwam in Anderson, Indiana, for the game between Anderson and Marion. Now, the game will be played that night for you folks in Anderson. Tune in tonight at 7 o'clock, and we'll be showing it to you at 9 o'clock. So you have a chance to go to the game and see it, then get yourself home and watch it on Channel 4. So it's going to be a great one. Anderson preseason ranked number 2 in the state. Marion in a tie for the number 20 spot. And when they get together, it's always a great shootout. That's next Wednesday night here on TV4, our high school game of the week. But first things first, and that's Speedway at Pike, and that's where we are tonight at Pike High School. Red Devils very much in command. Foul will be called, whistle blew, and the foul is against 42, Kit Tram. Pike, number 2 on him tonight. Speedway off to a semi-decent start early in the ball game. We were tied 4 different times at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then they really cranked it on, outscoring Speedway by some 10-3. It was 18-11 at the first quarter stop, and it's been Pike pretty much in command the rest of the way. Right now, they're up by 11, 28-17. Joe Dunn trying to do something about that. He'll get 2 free throw attempts. He has yet to score tonight. He had 5 points in the opening game loss to Beach Grove. Greg Hoagie was the top man of that ball game with 20. He has scored 12 so far tonight. And Dunn still can't buy one. Speedway is now 1 out of 6 in the free throw line. Gaddis dishes it off inside. That's the new man of the lineup. White's not the new man, but the man we have not seen much of, Whiteside. Number 22, Mike, a 6'2 senior, a 2-year letterman. He had a tremendous ball game, picking up the scoring slack in that win over Ben Davis. He had 27 points Friday night. His average on the year last year was 12.3. 30 and 17. Hoagie looking for the hoop, cannot get it, and there are 3 white shirts in there. And in fact, too many of them. They bumped into each other and turned the ball back over. Whiteside, number 22, was the man who came down with the rebound. It's a 30-17 ball game. Pike with the lead. Down to 4 minutes to play in the first half. Dunn in trouble. Out to Butterworth. Jim's got the open man on the right side. Like Pike is now going into a zone defense. And a pretty effective one at that. Here's Joe Dunn. Penetration right at the free throw line. Got it. So Dunn misses a couple of free throws and then gets a field goal from just about that same area. 30 and 19 your score. Still Pike with 3 minutes and 30 seconds of playing time in the first half. Off the glass and good for Whiteside. Whiteside getting shut out in the first period, scoring wise. He's picked up a pair of field goals in the second quarter. 4-point total. And it's 32-19. As I mentioned, some of the people I've talked with said that this Pike Ball Club is going to be a big factor in the conference again this year, and likewise just out in the county tournament. And of course, Ed Siegel trying to get them primed and cocked and ready for the state tournament. Fine defensive play at that time at number 30. Jay Jump intercepted it, and Gaddis brings it across the line. David Gaddis, number 10. He was the top assist man as well as the top scorer for Pike last year. He had 105 assists, so he's not a ball hog. He'll give it up, obviously. His brother Mac. Back to David again. Lobs it inside and low. There's the big fella in the middle, and a good defensive play. Kit Tram was the man who went up for the layup. And Joe Dunn was over his shoulder. There is Tram, number 42. Tell me that Tram is an avid fisherman. Loves to grab the old hook, line, and sinker and go out. Now watch this again. Here's a fine lob from David Gaddis. They've got it inside to Tram, and keep an eye on number 44, Joe Dunn. Coming in from the right side, Dunn will go up and make a very good defensive play. And we'll jump now at the free throw line of the Pike Red Devils. With the clock down to 2.5 minutes to play. Speedway controls the tip. Hoagie brings it across the line. Hoagie swings around the outside pick, lays it up and good. Little 5 or 6 footer right out front. Got a good pick, one of his teammates, and I've got Hoagie now for 14 points. 14 of the 21 they have showing. It is 32-21, and Morris Potter's going to have some work to do at halftime. Have to put a stop on Gaddis if they can, though David missed that one. And the rebound comes to Speedway again. Morris Potter, graduate of Canterbury College in Danville, Indiana, then a graduate of Indiana University. He has been around forever. What a guy. I had a chance to talk with both coaches prior to the ball game. They're just true gentlemen. Whistle inside. Foul will be on Kit Tram. And if that's who it is, I've got him for number 3. Now they put it on 1-1. That's Mac Gaddis. Mac picks up number 1. Look at it one more time. You'll see Gaddis as the offensive man, number 22, Butterworth, got just about a half a step on him. And here comes Gaddis in. And the foul was committed prior to the shot. Prior to what you just saw right there as he bumped him going to the hoop. The official right on top of it made the call. Jim Butterworth, also a member of the football and the track teams out at Speedway. Can't get it to fall. And Pike's got it again. Speedway's had a rough night at the free throw line. They were 1 for 4 in the first period, 0 for 3 in the second. Now to a minute 39 to go. First half. 32-21. Pike in front. You can see Mike Whiteside now playing at a guard spot, although he was listed in the starting lineup at forward. He is 22 with a basketball. 6'2 senior, 2-year letterman, playing catch with Mac Gaddis. David is the man in the middle as Pike's going into a 4-quarter. The foul is called on 22, Jim Butterworth. Jim's father's a junior high coach. Look at this again now. Here's the pass. All they're trying to do is hit the open man on the other side just to keep the ball moving. And Jim Butterworth trying to make the interception. He's trying to sneak around and make the deflection, I should say. Gets his feet tangled up and commits the foul. A minute 8 to go. Pike used the four-corner the other night in the third period against Ben Davis when they had a number of players in foul trouble at one point in the game. They had 4 players in the game with 4 personal fouls on them. Inside a minute, 32-21 basketball game with Pike in command. Ed Siegel yelling to his ball club to take a look at the clock. He wants him to see where it is. It's down to 45 seconds now. A 32-21 game. Pike in command as they have been right from the outset. That's Gaddis, Mac Gaddis. Near side to Whiteside. The open man down in the corner is Jay Jump. They get it down there. David Gaddis, the top scorer, is the man working basically the pivot area right now. Down to 25 seconds in the half. Whiteside again. Jump is open deep in the corner. They go the other way, though, to Mac Gaddis. Special features on both of these fine schools coming up at halftime, which is only 15 seconds away. Now it's 10 seconds away. Double team to the point. Ed Siegel says, let's go, and they do. Whiteside takes the shot and misses. Rebound with 4 seconds. With 3, there's the long shot up court. In and out. And Butterworth almost hit it from about 70 feet away. So we've had a first half. Interesting to say the least. The Pike Red Devils, obviously favorites coming into this ball game tonight. Out in front as they have been since the score was last tied at 8. It is now a 32-21 lead at halftime, and our halftime features are coming up.
Holidays. All those unforgettable times spent with family and friends. Birthdays, vacations, anniversaries, graduation. Whatever the occasion, good times and pictures go together. At Hooks, we take care of all your photo finishing needs, from Instamatic to 35mm. And you can count on quality color prints every time on Kodak's Lustrolux papers. So this fall, let Hooks be the one you turn to for quality photo finishing and make your memories last.
Williams Brothers has the best deal in town on microwave ovens. At Williams Brothers, choose from Litton, Whirlpool, GE, Roper. Listen to this. Here's a Roper 1.5 cubic foot capacity microwave, largest in the industry. 650 watts of power, 10 power levels, automatic defrost cycle, just $299.95. Compare anywhere at $395 or more. $10 holds for Thanksgiving or Christmas delivery. At Williams Brothers TV and Appliances, the home of 400 days free service.
Log cabin buttered syrup is so thick and rich you want to spread it with a butter knife.
Grandpa's spreading his syrup with a butter knife.
We switched to log cabin buttered syrup.
It's so thick and rich you want to spread it with a knife.
And log cabin is made with fresh churned grade A butter.
Mmm, delicious. Grandpa, can I borrow your butter knife?
No buttered syrup is thicker or richer than log cabin buttered syrup, so you'll want to spread it with a butter knife.
Just had a hamburger loaded with onions. Kiss me.
Onions?
Hey, kiss me. I got the signal.
Mmm, minty.
Signal mouthwash fights strong mouth odors.
I just ate garlic bread. Kiss me.
Garlic?
Come on, kiss me. I got the signal.
Hey, nice. Signal fights strong mouth odors. Even garlic, even onions. Gives you fresher, cleaner breath. Clinical tests prove it. A kiss will prove it.
Kiss me. I got the signal.
Jerry Baker back at Pike High School on the northwest side of the city. We are at halftime, and the score is Pike 32 and Speedway 21. Individual stars for each of these ball clubs. It has been David Gaddis with 16 points, though David was held to only 1 field goal in that second period. Speedway got 14 of their 21. Out of Craig Hoagie, he had 10 of those 14 points in the first period of play. So it's 32 for Pike, 21 for Speedway. We're halfway through our first TV4 game of the year. A halftime feature of the high school game of the week is a profile of the two schools. First, we'll introduce you to Pike High School.
Hi, my name is George Wilkins. I'm a Pike letterman here at Pike, and I'm interested in gymnastics. Tonight, we'd like to show you some of the great things here at Pike. So come on and I'll show you around.
A source of pride at Pike High School is the new gymnastics facility, the largest in the state. The room is equipped with apparatus and safety mats to accommodate the 6 men's and women's Olympic events contested by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Pike also has a 4-point indoor rifle range used by the Navy Junior ROTC program. During the past 6 years, 11 scholarships have been earned by Pike cadets, including 4 to the Naval Academy. The school has a very active band program, with the band currently rehearsing for a trip to Miami, Florida to march in this year's Orange Bowl Parade. The Pike cheerleading squad was the #1 group at the U.S. Cheerleaders Association camp this past summer at Ball State. Let's have a look at that winning style.
Now you know a little bit more about Pike High School. We hope you enjoyed your visit and will enjoy the second half of tonight's game. I'm George Wilkins, and good luck, Pike.
Good folks at Pike High School. They've been our hosts here tonight and doing an outstanding job as always. We're at halftime, and Pike is out in front 32-21. It was an 18-11 lead at the end of the first period, with Pike in front by 7 after the game had been tied 4 different times at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And that point in time was really the turning point as far as Pike was concerned, as they outscored Speedway by a 10-3 count in the next couple of minutes of play. 32-21 is the score here at halftime with Pike in front. And we'll be back to take a close-up look at the home of the Spark Plugs. But first, we'll return you to our studios for this Channel 4 news break.
This news break is brought to you by the Nationwide Insurance Company.
Good evening, I'm Doug Rafferty. A U.S. Marine died today when Muslims stormed the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan. 100 American embassy employees were rescued by Pakistani Army officials. The riots began after the Ayatollah Khomeini charged the U.S. and Israel with an attack on the most holy mosque in Islamabad in Saudi Arabia. The State Department, after the Ayatollah accused him of that, called the Ayatollah a liar. An early winter blizzard continued to dump heavy snows from the Rockies into the Great Plains today. 7 deaths are blamed on that storm as it develops. 400 more workers were laid off at the Chrysler plant in Kokomo today. The total laid off there now numbering about 2,000. A federal grand jury will investigate the police action shooting of Gregory Haynes on the Indianapolis east side. That occurred in September. And a major fire in San Francisco tonight threatened to explode huge tanks of dangerous chemicals over much of that city. On Wall Street today, the New York stock market was mixed. Trading was heavy. You tell us after this.
For Nationwide Insurance Service, from life to auto to homeowners protection, the man to call is George Ardelin, 3120 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis. Phone 926-2094.
Our You Tell Us question tonight: should trains carrying hazardous materials be routed around urban areas? Give us a call. Here are the numbers you can dial to cast a yes or no vote on our question tonight: should trains carrying hazardous materials be routed around urban areas? You tell us. Central Indiana weather for Thanksgiving: it looks like rain through most of the day. We'll have all the news for you tonight at 10:30 on News 4 Indiana.
This news break has been brought to you by the Nationwide Insurance Company.
What's new, creamy smooth, and ready when you're ready? New soft Philadelphia brand cream cheese. It's always spread and ready.
Spread and ready, whenever you want it.
New soft Philly. It's the cream cheese you love, only softer. Right out of the fridge.
Spread and ready, whenever you want it.
New soft Philly cream cheese. It's ready when you're ready.
Creamy smooth and ready to spread and spread. Spread and ready. Spread and ready.
I mentioned to you earlier in the telecast that they have an outstanding gymnastics team here at Pike High School. A number of banners hanging on the wall personifying championships this gymnastics team has won. And they're putting on a halftime demonstration for us right now, much to the delight of this crowd on hand here at Pike High School. They have a gymnastics facility here in the same gymnasium that is probably second to none in the entire state. 32-21 halftime. The Pike Red Devils are out in front, and I can guarantee you that Morris Pollard, the coach of Speedway, is down in that locker room just to our left, and he's got a lot of work to do. Ed Siegel, of course, trying to keep that ball club sky high, his Pike Red Devils, for the second half of play. Once again, our halftime score is Pike 32, Speedway 21. And now that we've had a look at Pike, let's go to Speedway High School, the home of the Spark Plugs.
Hello, my name is Nick Coddington, and welcome to Speedway High School. We are very proud of our school and the many things it has to offer, and now we would like to take you on a brief tour of our school.
Speedway High School has an enviable record in scholastics and sports. 75% of the school's grads go on to college. The newest class offering is computer math, an introduction to basic language programming, which is open to senior math students who have completed second-year algebra. The school offers instruction in Spanish and German. The underclassmen spend most of their time in the classroom, but attend the language arts lab for about 30 minutes once every 7 or 8 days. The lab has facilities for 30 students with a communication system that enables the instructor to monitor or talk with each student individually. This is the third year at Speedway High for the Singles Living Lab, which is most popular with the guys. The men are educated in cooking, sewing, and how to wash clothes. When the guys are not using the facility, the co-eds are learning cooking or advanced clothing.
We hope that you have enjoyed this brief look at Speedway High School. It was a pleasure to welcome you. Now I would like to say good luck, spark plugs.
So there you have a look at Speedway High School on the west side of the city of Indianapolis. Actually in the city of Speedway, of course, and it's our first chance to show you the Speedway spark plugs in our TV4 Game of the Week. We're delighted to have them on. Speaking of our Game of the Week, briefly looking ahead again, we'll be heading next week to Anderson, the famed Wigwam. And, of course, if you've ever seen a basketball game there, you know it's really a shootout no matter who is playing. And next week, we've got Anderson's Indians. They're ranked number 2 in the state in that preseason poll. They were the runner-up last year to Muncie Central for the state championship, coached by Norm Held, an outstanding ball club. And they're playing another ball club that has some credentials of some note also, Larry Little's Marion Giants. They weren't quite as fortunate as Anderson was last year as far as tournaments were concerned, but nonetheless, they are ranked number 20 in the state coming into the season. So it's Anderson and Marion. Jot it down, and it goes at 9 o'clock next Wednesday night. It's a little bit later than normal. Technical reasons for that. The game will actually start at 7 for the folks in Anderson. Try to get out to the game if you possibly can. While we have a couple of seconds here, here's the scoring in the first half of play. First off, with the Pike Red Devils, who lead by a count of 32-21. They have most of their scoring coming out of David Gaddis. We told you that last week in the win over Ben Davis, he had only 5 points. He was in foul trouble, played only 8 minutes in that ball game. He came out with 14 points in the first period, added 1 more field goal in the second, so he has 8 field goals and 16 points in the first half for Pike in that 32-21 margin they have built up. Nobody else is in double figures. In fact, the other 4 players who have scored, each has scored 4 points. Mac Gaddis, his brother, with 4. Mike Whiteside and Joe Kimbrough, both starters, with 4 points. And Jay Jump off the bench also with 4. Kit Tram, the starting center, did not score in the first half of play. Now for Speedway, Craig Hoagie, H-O-G-E, got off to a very strong start. And then appeared to be trying to force some shots up there. Took some shots that I'm sure that he might not have taken under conditions whereby they were a little bit closer. And came up with 14 points in the first half. 10 points in the first period on 5 field goals. 2 more field goals in the second quarter of play. 14 total. He likewise not getting a whole lot of scoring help. Doug Roberson, the starting center, had 3. Joe Dunn added 2. And Jim Butterworth off the bench with the other 2 points. No scoring out of the other starters, Scott Curry nor Gary Rakes. At the end of the first period, it was 18-11 with Pike in front after the ball game had been tied 4 different times at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then Pike, with pretty well-balanced scoring in the second period, ran the lead up to 13 points at one stage, and now they lead by 11. The score at halftime, the Pike Red Devils 32, the Speedway Spark Plugs 21. And we'll be back with the second half of play in our TV4 Game of the Week in just a moment.
Maxwell House is waking up till morning. Maxwell House, good to the last drop. Maxwell House is
Good morning.
Maxwell House is
Good morning.
good to the last drop. Maxwell House.
Nothing gets your day going like a cup of Maxwell House coffee. Coffee you can count on. Always good to the last drop.
Maxwell House is
Good warm.
good to the last drop. Maxwell House.
Remember our first date? Playing Mastermind.
Ah, Mastermind.
Love breaking your code.
Sly Devil, it only took you 4 moves.
I was brilliant.
You were masterful.
Okay, ready?
Now,
Think of it. 7 days and nights of Mastermind.
Mastermind. Games of cunning and logic from Invicta.
I used to win.
that was before we were married, Harold.
The Village People headline KTEL's Hot Nights and City Lights, a super new disco collection featuring Anita Ward, Blondie, T-Connection, and Evelyn Shea. Hawkins and Gloria Gaynor. Sister Swing. Hot Nights and City Lights, one of the headliners from K-Tel.
Available at Kmart.
If you have trouble swallowing pills, this remarkable glass could help you. The Apex Drink-A-Pill glass. It's so easy to use. Just fill with water, then place the pill on this specially designed shelf. The pill flows with the liquid and goes right down. It's as easy as drinking a glass of water. Remember, the Apex Drink-A-Pill glass. And for all your health care needs, turn to us. Hook's Dependable Drugstore.
Charles Amick is the principal at Pike High School. Dr. Charles Jordan, the superintendent. The athletic director is George Groskopf. I talked with George prior to tonight's contest. We appreciate all the courtesies afforded us, our Channel 4 crew, by George and his gang. The enrollment here at Pike is about 1,142. It's a four-year school. And you're going to see the cheerleaders from time to time tonight. They're working hard. Laura Amick, Colleen Hopkins, Elise Towns, Holly Ewell, Cindy Miller, and Millie Eastridge. Speedway, principal is John Bainbridge. Indale Weller is the superintendent. Clyde Salee is the athletic director. They are a somewhat smaller school, 4 years, enrollment 635. Their cheerleading contingent includes Sandy Cork, Julie Urban, April Dennett, Beth Winery, Sherry Cork, and Carolyn Dunn. And for the fans who might have stayed home tonight to watch our telecast, who are either Pike fans or Speedway fans, Speedway's next ball game is on the 23rd. And that'll be against the Ben Davis Giants. That is out at Speedway, by the way. And on the 30th, they'll be playing Mooresville. Again, a home game. So try your doggonest if possible to get out and watch the Speedway Ball Club in action. Likewise for Pike, they got a couple more games on the road. On the 24th, they'll be at Beach Grove. And on the 30th, they are at Zionsville. These are Friday nights. They will finally get a chance to come home on December the 1st, where they play the Falcons of Perry Meridian High School. So that is a look ahead at the schedule for both these ball clubs. Buzzer resounded. We are about set to go now. Ed Siegel, who coached a couple of years at Stillwell, 2 more at Southwestern, 4 years at Boonville. He was out of coaching for 3 years, then came to Pike back in '67 as the assistant basketball and track coach, and took over as the head man in '70 as the head varsity and assistant baseball coach. He has won 3 sectionals, 1 regional, 1 Marion County tournament, won a couple of holiday tournaments in the Central Suburban Conference title twice, including last year. That is a peek you just saw into the Speedway huddle. Morris Pollard, 5 years at AMO, 2 more at Danville, 24 years at Speedway. A record of 392 and 230 coming into the year. He's won 5 sectionals, 1 regional. That was in '73. A couple of Marion County tournaments, 8 Mid-State Conference titles. He has had 6 County Athletes of the Year and 2 Indiana All-Stars. He has really cranked them out. Ready to go now. Second half of play, and Speedway's got a long way to go, and they get the ball. Nope, they had it and lost it away to start the second half of play. Try to set the offensive alignments for you as we have an opportunity. Pike is going with, I see number 10 out there. That is David Gaddis at one of the guard spots. Gaddis has got it right side to Kimbrough. Back to Gaddis again. Pick out high is set by Tram. They come back to Kimbrough. Also in that lineup is 22. That is Whiteside. This is David Gaddis. Had a great first half and starts off the second half the same way. Gaddis with 18 points. No official stats, so I don't know what his shooting was, but I think he only missed a couple of shots in the entire first half of play. Speedway with the basketball, and number 22, Jim Butterworth, got the starting call in the second half. That is he with the ball down deep in the corner, right back to Butterworth again. Out to Joe Dunn, who started it forward. Now the foul call. It'll be against Pike, and it's on number 30, and that is Jay Jump. You see Jay in your screen. Won his letter last year. Strong inside player, averaged 5 points per game. Look at it again. There's the pick outside, high. You saw Jump trying to fight his way through it. First foul, second half, no shots involved. We played 45 seconds. Speedway basketball. They desperately need to come up with 2 or 3 successive field goals and chop that lead down. It's 32-21. Pike is out in front now. Dunn deep down in the corner and right back out again from Gary Rakes. They were the starting forwards tonight. Butterworth again. Inside, high posting it. Got it to Hoagie. Hoagie wants the little 5-footer out front. Won't fall. And the rebound and whistle again. And this time it'll be against Speedway. And it's on number 34, reaching in, Craig Hoagie. Number 1 on Craig, 6'1" senior. Top scorer in the ball club last year. Top scorer tonight with 14 points, 10 of which came in the opening period. Now they need him in the ball game, so Can't afford to get him in any kind of foul trouble. Neither club has anybody seriously in that difficult situation foul-wise now. 34-21. Pike has jumped back out in front again by 13. That matches the biggest lead they had. Make it 15 now as Whiteside made a good move on the baseline for his third field goal and 6th point. So with a minute and a half gone in the third period, Pike has jumped out in front now by 15. Hoagie again. Going to the hoop is fouled. And Kimbrough, number 32, is credited with that personal foul, the second on him. Second against Pike in the second half. Take a little shot at this again. You see the bounce pass going in low. Hoagie got himself down to the baseline and set beautifully, and not much the defense could do about that. Speedway wearing the brown traveling uniforms, trimmed in gold and white. Butterworth, and had it taken away as he tried to drop it off. Fine move, good follow-up rebound by Dunn. Whistle underneath. Kimbrough was the man who missed it. Goes clear off almost through the doors at the end of the gymnasium. He is up and he is all right. And let's see what the call is here. It'll be Speedway basketball. I think the official may have stopped play momentarily to check on the health and well-being of Joe Kimbrough. But he's all right. So Dunn will inbounds now to Craig Hoagie. And you see Pike in that little full court zone type press they'll go into, and they do not score. Dunn, good move. Jump ball. It'll be Gary Rakes, a 6'2 senior, to step in against number 42 Kit Trammell. Pike, 6'7.5 junior. The advantage obviously on the side of the Red Devils. Our opening Channel 4 game of the year. And we're going to be moving around the state this year. We've got plans to reach out into the far corners of the state and bring you the best possible games on Wednesday nights. David Gaddis, near side jump. Shot no, foul call. It's on number 34, Hoagie. That'll be his second. Team foul number 2 against Speedway in the second half of play. A couple of weeks down the Pike a little bit. We're going to show you as you look at this replay one more time. Good pass from Gaddis to jump. And the foul on Hoagie. Now the substitution coming into the lineup for Speedway. Number 30, Dave Katra, K-A-T-R-A, 6'1 junior. Timeout call by the Plugs. With 5:34 to go, third period, it's Pike 36, Speedway 21. We'll be right back.
When fever strikes, you don't need the long wait, the bother, or the risk of glass thermometers. The Dilatemp electronic fever thermometer system gives you accurate readings in 50 seconds. The soft, flexible sensor can't break. Slip on the disposable SaniShield cover to prevent cross-infection. Insert the sensor, and in 50 seconds, you can read temperature easily and accurately. When fever strikes, you can save time and trouble with Dilatemp.
Available at all Hook's dependable drugstores.
I can't afford to run out of cash when we're out on the town.
Introducing the new improved bank machine. It's open 24 hours a day to serve you when you need it.
Why is it I can never get my paycheck to the bank before it closes?
You can deposit checks, get cash, handle any of 12 banking transactions. The new improved bank machine, now opening all around town.
At American Fletcher, we want to be your bank.
2 weeks from tonight, our Channel 4 cameras will be out on the east side of the city, out at Lawrence North High School, to take a look at Jack Keefer's Wildcats of Lawrence North and Steve Kaufman's Beach Grove Hornets. That'll be a good basketball game, so jot that one down on your schedule. Next week, it's Anderson and Marion. Tonight, it's Pike and Speedway. So far, it's been all Pike. Jay Jump, now 3 out of 3 from the free throw line. Jay with 5 points. That's his first in the second half. Pike in front now, 37-21 with 5 minutes, 34 seconds to play, third period. Pike was 2 out of 2 from the line of the first half, 2 out of 2 from the line of the second half of play. Speedway, on the other hand, hit 1 out of 7 from that free throw line in the first half of play, and that didn't help the cause any at all. Plugs are down. They've got the basketball. They need some scoring. That's Hoagie trying to get a couple, and he does. Craig Hoagie, the 6'1 senior, top scorer for the ball club last year, likewise showing the way tonight. He has 16 total. Nobody else in double figures. Nobody else has more than 3 points, as a matter of fact, and that's the first bucket in the second half for Speedway. And there is another for number 30, Jay Jump. Jump, who had 4 in the first half, has equaled that point output here in the third period of play. Total of 8 on the night. Just ticked off inside 5 minutes of the third quarter. Speedway went almost 3 minutes of the second half without scoring. That one won't fall for Jim Butterworth, and Pike is in a hurry. David Gaddis got it. Gaddis with 20. It goes to 42-23. And timeout has been called now by Speedway. The Plugs want this to go no further. Morris Pollard wants to talk to his players. Morris getting assistance help from Jim Crumley, varsity assistant out of Butler. Tom Smith, who's the reserve coach from Miami of Ohio. Jim Rollins out of Tennessee Tech, coaching the freshmen. Also helping out with reserves are Henry Cox and Lyle Neat, and Dale Glenn working with the freshmen out at Speedway. The assistant coaches don't normally get a lot of credit, and they do an awful lot of work. Ed Siegel's got some good help from Ron Iowema, a graduate and outstanding athlete at Butler over the years. Varsity assistant coach. He is also the head baseball coach. As I mentioned, Ed is the assistant baseball coach, so he and Ron spent a great deal of the year together as you peek into the huddle of the Pike Red Devils. Larry Salzman, a graduate of Indiana State, coaches the reserves and also the reserve baseball squad. And Jeff Borf coaches the freshmen. He is also the assistant track coach. So that's the way things line up personnel-wise in both Pike and Speedway. We're about set to go again with 4 minutes, 38 seconds of playing time. And if Speedway doesn't find the magic button pretty quickly, they're going to be in a heap of hurt because right now they're down 42-23. Inbounds trigger man is Butterworth, gets it in to Dave Catra, who, as I mentioned, came in during the last break in the action. Catra played sparingly last week. Here's the steal, and this is Gaddis again. David Gaddis dishes off. Bucket won't go. Rebound picked off by Speedway as Kimbrough couldn't get it. Kimbrough is still down, as a matter of fact. Quickly up court, loose ball saved and thrown back out to Butterworth. Near side it comes to Hoagie, shuffles it off inside and lost it. Loose ball picked up by the red and white, jump ball. So there's massive confusion at both ends of the floor right now as neither club is able to hang on to the basketball. It's early in the season, and you're going to see some of these things happen in these early basketball games. Substitution for Speedway, Joe Dunn returns to the lineup. Dunn with no personal fouls, 2 points on a field goal in the second period, comes into the lineup. And number 30, Dave Catra, goes out of there with nothing showing his scoring column. Almost halfway through the third period. David Gaddis controls it, and a whistle and a walking violation called on him. David, number 10, and Mac, number 11, are the brothers who started at the guard spots in tonight's basketball game. Last year, this Pike Ball Club was 14-8. They won the Central Suburban Conference title. Speedway last year, 7-13. Very short on experience, we were told. Their center was out all year with a football injury, and their starting forward moved away. So Morris Pollard had a rough way to go last year with that 7-13 mark. Not that time for Hoagie. Rebound comes off to Pike. Quickly they come right back up court to jump. He goes down to the baseline where it's deflected away and last touched by a plug. Speedway over the years has had some outstanding athletes. Football and basketball. Number of county athletes of the year. Gaddis gets the open pupper from the corner. Won't go. Rebound yanked out of there by Tram and a whistle inside. And a foul called against Speedway. It is against number 50. That's Doug Roberson. That's number 1 on him. And is a third against the Plugs in the third period. 3 minutes, 36 seconds of playing time. Pike in front, 42-23. That's the biggest lead they've enjoyed. They've been in front since the game was tied at 8. Mike Whiteside couldn't get it to fall, went back up and got it, and the jump ball was called. So we'll jump at the Pike free throw line. Number 22, Whiteside, a 6'2 senior, will step in. Going against Joe Dunn, the 6'1 junior, tap control by the Spark Plugs. 3.5 minutes to play and a turnover. Morris Pollard told us before the game that the Speedway Ball Club would be better, but the main problem appeared to be rebounding. And so far tonight, they have not gotten many second opportunities. Jump deep in the corner over the rim. Rebound pulled off by Speedway. They got the outside man. Butterworth cannot get it there. They fill the lanes beautifully, though. There's the shot that is no good and a foul called. Going to the hoop that time was Doug Roberson. The Plugs did an excellent job on the 3-on-1 break. They filled the lanes beautifully, and the only way Pike could stop them was to commit the personal foul. And that they did in the form of number 30, Jay Jump, who comes up with his second foul this period, his third in the game. There was Jay. And that is the third foul against Pike in this half, but nonetheless a shooting foul. So number 50, Doug Roberson, will be at the line with a couple of tries. He is 1 out of 2 from there tonight. He has yet to score in the second half. As a matter of fact, Speedway has only scored 1 field goal, 2-point total in the second half. That was a Hoagie field goal at about the 5-minute mark. We're now down to 3:09. And Roberson gets his 4th point of the evening. And a whistle on the inbounds play, a goal against Speedway's number 34, Hoagie. And that is the third one on him, all of which have come here in this third period. There's Sprague. Most valuable player with the Sparkplugs last year, had an outstanding first period, scoring 10 of their 11 points. He had 14 at halftime. He has 16 now. He had 20 points in the loss to Beach Grove. Gaddis saw the defensive man, Hoagie, coming at him, tried to drop it down to the baseline. I think he was trying to get the ball inside to Butterworth. Butterworth, of course, was going to the hoop and didn't see it, but it was last touched by Hoagie. So with 3 minutes to play at third period, Pike has it again. Here's Dave Gaddis on the floor, and the Brown Church are all over it this time. Craig Hoagie comes out with it. The baseball pass up court to Butterworth. He's got the hoop. Jim Butterworth, first man off the bench, has played pretty well tonight. That's his second bucket. Speedway going into that full court press, trying to turn this ball game around a little bit and get back in it again. In and out, would not fall. The rebound put back up. It won't go either, but a personal foul was called against Speedway. Whiteside had the first opportunity. Kimbrough had the second, and Dunn picks up the personal foul. We get it one more time. You'll see the opportunity here that the Pike Red Devils had. Here comes the first shot. Watch it go in and come back out of there. Here's the rebound. That is put back up there by Kimbrough, and the foul called. Now, this is Joe at the line now. He has not been to the free throw line tonight. Last year was a 71% shooter from there. That's the first miss in the free throw line for the Red Devils this evening. Going to that shot, they were 4 for 4. It's 42-27. Pike missed them both. Rebound comes out to Butterworth. That Pike cheering section on the other side of the floor has been standing up since the game began. They're still up. So they're enthusiastic anyway. Roberson. Rebound pulled off by Roberson again. Short this time. And a massive entanglement under the hoop. And a foul call. It'll be on 44, Joe Dunn of Speedway. And on Joe, that's number 2. That's the 5th foul against Pike, or against Speedway, which means we'll make the trip to the other end. You got a feel for a Morris Pollard as you see Joe Dunn on your screen. He told me before the game, he said, I'm not sure how good we really are. And when a coach tells you that, you know he has great concern about the qualifications for his basketball team. And once they got behind, it's been an uphill struggle ever since then. They trail by 15 now, 42-27, with 2 minutes, 18 seconds to play in period 3. And this is number 30, Jay Jump, the 6'4 senior at the line with 1 in the bonus. It's 5 for 5 from the line. There's that cheering section I told you about. They're enjoying themselves. Those gals' shirts over there, by the way, the red and white. The lettering on the front says Senior Women. Nice to see the young ladies coming out and supporting these guys in these basketball games, and vice versa, as the girls' basketball is really gaining in popularity. And yes, we do have plans to get you a couple of girls' basketball games around the area this winter to show you on our TV4 Wednesday night game of the week. Butterworth shuffles it outside to Rakes. We haven't heard much of Gary tonight. He hasn't scored. 2 minutes to play, third quarter action. They drop it off in the corner to Rakes again. Won't go. White shirts everywhere. Fighting for the ball into the bucket. Number 34, Craig Hoagie. It is out of bounds, and a whistle and a foul. And it looks to be Joe Dunn. And if it is Joe, that'll be his third. There's Joe on your screen. That's what it is. Number 3 on Joe Dunn. As you look at it again, a wild scramble under the Speedway basket. You saw Kit Tram take off the rebound. You saw the defensive play by Hoagie. Now it just is one of those hot potatoes that nobody can come up with. And you saw the dive by Dunn that will send Joe Kimbrough, number 32, to the line. He missed his last 2 opportunities up there. Kimbrough. Joe is getting recruited by a number of the service academies. Youngster's a rather intelligent young man. Joe Kimbrough, 6'3" senior, 2-year letterman. Some of the Naval Academy, the Army, Air Force Academy, what have you, they have been out looking at him, talking with him. 46-27, back to the 19-point margin. Speedway basketball, Butterworth. Hoagie, whistle, may have gotten fouled going to the hoop that time. It is on number 32. That's Joe Kimbrough. That's 2 on him. 4th against the club in this half. So the shooting foul is not as of yet in effect. We're down to 1:37 to go in the third period. And Hoagie will inbounds. You've heard us talking about David Gaddis tonight. This youngster has 6 school records. Most points in the game, 37. Most field goals in the season. Most field goals in a game. Most points in the season. Highest free throw percentage, 82% for a season. And most free throws in a game is tied with the school record with 13. Speedway brings it back across the timeline. They don't bother to pick it up, and Pike goes to get it. And another one of those scrambles ensues under the Red Devil basket. It almost looks like the 11th game of a 10-game football schedule tonight from time to time. Now, watch this ball get free. You saw the score, 46-27. And you saw 44, Joe Dunn not wanting to touch it because it would have been a backcourt violation. But by not touching it, he gave Pike a chance to go get it. Substitution now for Pike. Jay Junk comes out of the lineup. Jay has scored 6 points this period, 10 for the night. And Mac Gaddis, the 6-foot sophomore guard, number 11, returns to the lineup, the brother of David Gaddis. Tap control by Speedway. Hoagie has it to Butterworth. We're down to 1:20 to go in this third period. Inside, good defensive play by Kip Cram as Rakes trying to take it in. It's 1-on-2 and a great play, but the bucket would not fall that time for Whiteside. Mike made a great move right at the hoop, but couldn't get the little reverse flip layup to fall. Up to Roberson. Cross court now, and there's the reverse layup that won't go this time for Rakes, and Pike comes up with it again. The Red Devils on the move. Gaddis got it. David Gaddis with 22. There he is. He was second in county scoring last year to Jeff Crabtree at Lawrence North. We'll see Jeff in a couple of weeks. Here is Hoagie answering the bell at the other end. That's only the 3rd field goal for Speedway in the second half. And a timeout has been called with a score 48-29. Speedway is still trying to get back into this ball game, and Morris Potter, you see at the bottom of your screen, having a long and lengthy conversation with one of the officials about something he wasn't particularly happy about under the basket. Now you peek into the huddle of Ed Siegel. Ed, been around a long time, since 1970, the head varsity basketball coach at Pike. He is the current president of the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association. He was selected to Who's Who in high school coaching in the nation back in '76. Conference Coach of the Year 3 different times at Central Suburban Conference. And he was also awarded an honor that I'm sure he appreciates. That's Morris Potter you're looking at. Ed was named Teacher of the Year at Pike twice, 1974 and 1978. And the 1976 high school club that he had here at Pike ranked in the top 20 that year and had the highest offensive average in the state. They averaged 81.5 points. There's Ed. We just simply cannot do these telecasts without the total cooperation of the schools, and particularly the coaches. And I genuinely appreciate that assistance that we get. In fact, I've already heard from Norm Held about our game next week with Anderson and Marion. Looking forward to doing that ball game. That should be a great one. We have 39 seconds remaining in the third period here at Pike High School tonight. Pike's very much in command. Gaddis is in trouble in the backcourt with 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Into the big fella. Kit Tran. And believe it or not, for Tran, that's his first 2 points of the night. His average is 6.1 last year. Foul at the other end. Basket is going to count, and the foul will be against number 11, Mac Gaddis, number 2 on him. First here in the second half. So, give the bucket to 22, Jim Butterworth, and send him to the line for the second time tonight. Missed his first opportunity. There's Jim. Rebound picked up by Gaddis. David Gaddis holds up in backcourt with 20 seconds remaining in the third period. Pike in no hurry. Brother Mack is out to take the pass and look across the court to Whiteside. Go instead to Gaddis. Now he goes to Whiteside. 7 seconds to go, third period. David Gaddis gets it. Gaddis has 24 points tonight. 1 second to go. That's the end of three quarters. The score: the Pike Red Devils 52. The Speedway Park Spark Plugs 31, with the fourth period just seconds away.
When you need a vitamin supplement, try Hook's Therapeutic M with 15 essential vitamins and minerals. All this month, you'll save $2.40 on the 100-tablet bottles. So stock up for months to come at $1.59 each. Hook's Therapeutic M to help you stay healthy.
When you need someone to turn to, that Hook's Speedway.
At Community Playhouse, we all pitch in. So I'm washing dirty costumes when the old school mom says, if your powder needs help, like spray for greasy makeup and liquid for collars, why use it? Era does it all by itself. She says Era has ingredients like these, so it does more than my powder. We'll see. Hey, Era cleaned all of this, even that makeup, all by itself. Good show.
Era does it.
All by itself.
Scoring through three periods of play. Speedway being led by Craig Hoagie with 18. He is the only plug with double figures. Pike has 2-minute twin digits now. David Gaddis, obviously, with 24. And Jay jumped with 10. Jay had 6 of his 10 there in the third period. Fourth quarter tap control by Mac Gaddis out to brother David. And Pike totally in command of this basketball game. You saw the 22-point lead at the end of 3, 52-30. And a lane violation called against Pike to give the ball back to the Plugs. Well, as they say, when it rains, it pours. Speedway in that loss to Beach Grove, 60-56, down by only 1 with 4 seconds to go. Called an extra timeout, had the technical foul called against them. That's probably the best offensive maneuver we've seen so far tonight. Doug Roberson, number 50, got the hoop. It's his first bucket since the second period. He has totaled 6 points tonight. And a violation on the inbounds attempted pass gives the ball right back to Speedway again. We played 30 seconds here in this fourth period. Hoagie inbounds, and they come out to Butterworth now. High posting to Hoagie. Drops it down along that baseline to Roberson. And the ball comes right back to Hoagie, and he gets the hoop. He has 20 points. That brought Ed Siegel off the bench, not very happy with what he thought was a foul call, or what one should have been called against Speedway. It never came. And 1 minute's history in this fourth period. David Siegel, boy, he's tough man there. Dishes it off this time. Shot won't go, tapped up once. Whistle will stop the play, and the foul is against Speedway. Bodies flying again into the hoop as Gaddis missed the shot, and the rebound came down to Kimbrough. And the foul will be against number 42. That'll be Jay Walls. Well, let's look at this again. There's no 42 in there. Look at it again. Foul's going to be on 44. They called on 42, but it's on 44 done. And that is 4 on Joe. Well, they did put it on 42 of Pike is what they have done. They put it on Tram. That's his third. Look for all the world like Dunn had gotten him. That's Dunn at the line. Joe Dunn, 5 points of that loss to Beach Grove, has scored just 2 tonight on a second period field goal. 6 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Fourth quarter. 52-34 Pike. They're in no hurry. Speedway playing the little matchup zone that they have used throughout much of this ball game tonight. Gaddis flips it back door, and a foul against Speedway. It is against number 40. That's Gary Rakes, number 2 on Gary Rakes tonight. Look at it again. Gaddis does a good job, does number 10, David Gaddis, of not just taking that shot, but he's such a good shooter when he goes up. The defense really comes out after him, and he has, on a couple of occasions tonight, flipped that ball down to the baseline, and generally the man is wide open. Kimbrough, 7th point of the game. He is now 3 out of 5 from the line. He missed his first couple of opportunities. Now has knocked home 3 in a row. Kimbrough got his letter on the baseball squad for Ron Iwema, third-year varsity player, top field goal shooter on the unit last year, hitting 54%. He's had only 2 field goals tonight, but he has 8 points to his credit, and it's a 20-point lead at 54-34. Inside Roberson, back outside to Hoagie again. They come to Butterworth, and Butterworth brings it out to the point and sets it up. That's Rakes. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play in this ball game. And Pike pretty much doing what they want to do tonight. Deep in the corner, shot short by Joe Dunn, and the rebound pulled out of there by Pike's Kit Tram. And the Gaddis gang will bring it across the line. David comes near side. And they work the ball around, trying to find the opening on the other side. Under the hoop all by himself is Kit Tram as this defense leaves him open. They get it down, and Speedway covers up well. 5 minutes, 40 seconds to play in this ball game. 54-34, Pike. They've been ahead by as many as 22 tonight. Right side. Back out to Matt Gaddis. Down to Kimbrough. And Joe Kimbrough knocks home his 10th point. He becomes the 3rd Pike player to reach double digits tonight. Speedway says, let's take time out. 5:15 to go in this ball game. Back at 22 points in front. Pike leads at 56-34. We'll return to Pike High School after this break.
We're going to need a new savings plan to fit our new family.
I think my hard-earned money could be earning me more money.
Planning for tomorrow takes more than just one savings plan.
American Fletcher has a variety of savings plans. There's one just right for you.
At American Fletcher, we want to be your bank.
For a fun-filled evening, there's nothing like a Pacers game. And Hooks invites you to bring the family to Market Square Arena on Wednesday, November 21st, when the Pacers take on the New York Knicks. It's Hooks Family Night at the Pacers, and you'll save half the regular ticket price with 3 discount coupons from Hooks. Plus, the first 3,000 people under 14 at the game will get free Hooks Pacers wristbands. Plan to join us Wednesday, November 21st at Market Square Arena for Hooks Family Night at the Pacers. I called it.
Sherry Baker back at the Pike High School Gymnasium, home of the Red Devils, who have been devilish tonight because they're way out in front, 56-34. It's not been much of a contest since the midway point of the first period. It was tied at 8, and since then it's been all Pike. Red Devils showing some scoring punch and ability to go to the boards tonight. Butterworth, short. Rebound still being fought for. Out of bounds belongs to. It'll belong to Pike. Craig Hoagie had it and just kind of dropped it down to the floor when the call came to give it back to the red and white. Inbounds trigger man, Kimbrough. Full court press being used now by Speedway, and they take it away from him, and Hoagie gets the hoop and is fouled in the process. The foul is against Kimbrough. That'll be 3 on Joe. Hoagie, number 34, gets the bucket. He has 22 points tonight. You're looking at number 32, Joe Kimbrough. Now look at this again. Here is Kimbrough. He is okay as far as the hands are concerned, but the official will pat himself on the chest to indicate body contact. So substitution now for Pike. Number 30, Jay Jump, returns to the lineup. Out will come Kimbrough. Likewise, out of the lineup for Speedway, number 40, Gary Rakes. And number 24 goes into the ball game now. That is Scott Curry. He started tonight's ball game at guard. Good shooter with some very good speed, but has not played much. He did get a couple of free throw attempts in the first quarter and missed them. Shots by Hoagie no good, and his 22-point total will stay right where it is, and Speedway will get the ball back again. 4 minutes, 53 seconds to play in the game. It's a 56-36 lead, Pike. Lugs will bring it back out to the perimeter and set up the offense. Hoagie, and deep right side it goes to 24, Scott Curry. Having trouble planting the handle. That is Roberson. Doug Roberson has 8 points. He has scored 4 here in this fourth period, equals his entire first three-quarter output. Here's Hoagie moving inside again. Hoagie gets the hoop. He is fouled. And, boy, I tell you right now, Ed Siegel is not a happy man. Timeout has been called by Pike. The foul is against 22, Mike Whiteside. Look at this again. You know, Speedway's got a little work to do, but Pike is helping him a little bit now. There was the foul on 22, Mike Whiteside, his second of the game. 56-40 score. Pike had the lead to 22 points, and they haven't been able to get the ball inbounds and across the timeline the last 2 or 3 times. Morris Pollard, I'll guarantee you, a man with all the experience he has, is not thrown in the towel just yet. Look at the Speedway spark plug cheerleading crew. We mentioned those gals. Well, they put in a long night also, hard workers. Marion Giants and the Anderson Indians. Associated Press put Anderson in that number 2 spot to find Fort Wayne Harding in the preseason poll. They put Marion into the number 20 spot. Marion 20-7 last year. Anderson 22-7. Runner-up to Muncie Central in the state championship. Marion's playing tonight. They open up their season at Wabash. Anderson also playing at home in the Wigwam to Indianapolis Marshall. Roger Schroeder's club is up there tonight. That's a tough way to open the season. And next week we got the telecast of Anderson Marion at 9 o'clock on WTTV Channel 4. Here at Pike High, 4.5 minutes to go. It's a 56-40 basketball game with Pike in front and Speedway trying to chop away at that lead. And doing it by dribs and grabs. Hoagie gets the free throw for 7 points in the period, 25, and another steal by Speedway. Hoagie again can't get it. Tapped up once, and it still won't fall from Roberson. Finally, Pike gets it across the timeline. Gaddis runs it down to the corner, throws it back out to the other Gaddis, and a whistle and a foul. And it's against number 50 of Speedway, Doug Roberson, number 2 on him. So it took Pike a little while to finally get it back across the 10-second line. And now they go to the free throw line. Mac Gaddis has not been there this evening. He was the top scorer and assist man on the reserve squad last year. Look at this again. There's the reaching in foul on number 50, Doug Roberson. So mentioned Mac led the reserve squad in scoring and assists. He had 4 points in the opening game victory over the Giants of Ben Davis. Number 11 is up there right now. 2 shots. From Mac. Folks out in Speedway watching in tonight have not had much to cheer about, but take heart in the fact that you'll learn as the season progresses. And I'm sure that's what Morris Pollard is looking for right now, some kind of a plus out of this basketball game. And they've looked pretty good in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Except for that, David Gaddis is going to go in for the layup. David Gaddis with 26. As I mentioned, he averaged just under 23, 22-8 last year. Second to Jeff Crabtree in that Marion County scoring race, held to only 5 points in that opening game win on Friday night. Hoagie blocked away, but a foul called on Kit Tran, 4 on him. And talking to Ed Siegel, he tells me that sure he was held to 5, but the circumstances were not as you might suspect. It was not all good defense employed by the Giants. He got himself in foul trouble early, sat out most of the ball game, played just 8 minutes to total that 5 points. Ed Siegel's going to go back to the bench again and substitute number 34, Dean Almas, A-L-M-A-S. First time we've seen Dean tonight. He is a 6'2 senior. To look at this foul one more time. That'll send Craig Hoagie, H-O-G-E, to the line with a couple of tries. There is the foul on Kit Tran. Out of the lineup for Pike, number 22, Mike Whiteside. 6 points, 2 of those in the second half. Here's Hoagie. Hoagie's had a good ball game tonight. He has 26 points. He went through some problems in that first period and into the second period when he couldn't buy a bucket and kept trying to force the shot up there. And that may have hurt his total point output and maybe the club a little bit, but at that given point in time, nobody else was scoring anyway, and Hoagie, I'm sure, felt obligated to go for the hoop every opportunity he had. 59-43, Pike with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to play in this ball game. David Gaddis continues to keep an eye on the basketball, trying to find brother Mac. Comes instead of the other side. They go in the middle to jump. A turnaround shot is blocked away, and a good defensive play by Roberson. Hoagie brings it out of there, takes it across the timeline. Now penetration comes back outside. Joe Dunn bounces deep in that corner. And the shot goes in and out by Curry. The rebound picked off, put back up by Butterworth. It won't fall. Loose ball picked up again. But number 44, Dunn. They come back out to Curry again. Still won't go. Whistled inside. That'll stop the play, and the foul is against Pike, and it looks to be Kit Cram again. That's what it is. On Kit, I've got him for 5. We'll wait and see. And apparently that is indeed the case. Yes. Now look at it again here. You'll see number 42, Kit Tram, the 6'7.5" junior starting center, muscling his way in and picking up the personal foul, and he is gone. So Kit Tram becomes the first player to foul out of tonight's game. He leaves with only 2 points to his credit. That was a third period field goal. There's Kit, number 42, second leading rebounder last year, third-year varsity player. It's been a busy man tonight, despite that lack of scoring. You're looking at 50, Doug Roberson, who has 8 points on the night, 1 out of 2 from the line. He'll be up there now with a couple of opportunities. We're down to 3 minutes and 3 seconds of playing time. Now, what have we done here? We got a technical foul. All right, the player did not report. That's what it was. The substitute coming into the lineup, replacing Kit Tram, didn't bother to report. Number 44, Dwayne Durkis, D-U-R-K-O-S. So he gets a technical foul called against him. And Craig Hoagie will be at the line. Hoagie will take the shots. He has now hit 4 in succession from the line. He has 10 points this period, making 11 this period and 29 in the night. 29 points tonight. Now, Hoagie will take, those were the personal foul shots. Now he will take the technical foul shot. Then Speedway gets the basketball. And it's 59-45. So Hoagie knocks home 3 in a row. Now Speedway still gets the basketball, and I'll guarantee you right now that Morris Pollard has got those little wheels cranking around in his head, because it's 59-46. With 3 minutes and 3 seconds to play, there is Morris, and that is an awful lot of time, my friend, in a basketball game. They get a hoop here, they might be back in this thing. That's Hoagie again. Won't go. Rebound tapped up once. Pulled up by Scott Curry, long range. Hoagie wants to try it again, and this time it goes. Well, Hoagie has been sensational here in this fourth period. And it's a 59-48 basketball game. Here is Gaddis. Good job of shutting him off by Roberson, and Gaddis brings it back out and says, let's make this thing work a little longer here. Here's the steal. 44, Joe Dunn drops the ball off, and the shot no good. Hoagie's got the rebound and picks up the personal foul. He didn't quite have the rebound and went to the hoop and picked up the foul. On Hoagie, that is number 4. And a substitution again for the red and white of Pike. Back into the lineup is Joe Kimbrough. And we'll see who comes out of there. It would appear to be 34 and 44 coming out. Look at it again here. Dirk is coming out. Alma's coming out. There is the aggressive foul turned in by Craig Hoagie. He knows where this ball game is, and he realized if they can come up with a hoop there, they're smacked back in this thing. Mac Gaddis is at the line. Mac has 5 points. He's 1 out of 2 from the line. Rebound, Speedway, can't find the handle. Finally they do, and that is Hoagie again. Hoagie penetrates, dishes off on a great pass, and a bucket by Roberson. Hoagie with a sensational pass down to Roberson, and it's 59-50 with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play. Speedway has done a brilliant job getting back into this game. They were once down by 22 points. 59-50. That's got to be awfully heartening for Speedway, even if they still come up on the short end of the score tonight, because they have done a real job in this fourth period. Now, Pike is going to go into a four-quarter of some nature. They dish it off and get it inside, and the foul is called on Roberson. That'll be 3 on Doug. Now, that's not necessarily a bad foul, because they're going to have to get the ball back, and they're going to have to take their chances with the free throw shooting abilities of this Pike Red Devil club tonight, because They do have a pretty effective four-corner offense. Look at the foul again. It's an aggressive one, to say the least, by Roberson. There he goes. Smacks him across the wrist and probably cuts some body also. Couple of shots, the first of which is good for Kimbrough. Kimbrough missed his first two opportunities. Now has strung out 5 in a row from the line. He has 11 points. Scored 12 in the win over Ben Davis. Couple of very important free throws by Pike that time. 61-50. That kicks the lead back up to 11. It had gotten down to 9. Here is Hoagie. Forced the shot, missed it. The rebound yanked out by David Gaddis, getting harassed in backcourt by Hoagie. And that might have been the one that sounded the death knell for the Speedway ball club. They had really done a tremendous job getting back in. Here is the 10-second violation on David Gaddis. He didn't get it across the timeline in the 10-second allotted time. And Speedway has it again. And the assistant coaches for Speedway up talking to the various players. You see to the left of your screen, are just barely caught the hand of Morris Pollard. A minute and a half to go. Hoagie in the corner. Open man down there, Butterworth. Short. Out to Pike. On the breakaway is Gaddis. That is Mack, and he scores. Mack Gaddis, first bucket in the second half. He has 7 points. Hoagie forcing it. Tapped up once by Roberson. Again by Roberson. Still won't go. Rebound Hoagie. Back up again. Roberson again. Loose ball out of bounds belongs to Speedway. You got to give the Plugs credit. They have been aggressive, even when it looked like they could turn out the lights and go home. They've been right on the march. You see number 10, David Gaddis, climbing off the deck. Gaddis, 26 points tonight. But Craig Hoagie has been sensational in the brown and gold and white of Speedway. Rebound, Joe Dunn. Stops, fakes, misses it, foul. Jay Jump with personal number 4. We will hopefully have the opportunity to speak with both of these coaches following this ball game, and it'll be interesting to get Morris Pollard's reaction to this fourth quarter outburst, and likewise the same reaction from a different viewpoint by Ed Siegel. So stay with us for a little post-game activities we got lined up for you. Joe Dunn, the 6'1 junior, member of the football and the baseball team at Speedway, picks up his 3rd point of the game. And Joe will try again. We're down to 51 seconds of playing time. Whistle blew a lane violation. One of the Red Devils apparently was in the lane. So Joe Dunn gets second life. And it doesn't go anyway. Rebounded by Jay Jump. And a whistle again. Now the foul is on Joe Dunn. And on Joe, that is personal foul number 4. So some of the fans begin to make their way out of this Pike High School gymnasium tonight after watching the Red Devils get a sizable lead. Let it dwindle down to 9 and then work its way back up to the 12-point total that it is right now with 63-51. And Jay Jump trying to add to that lead. Jay's been tough at the line tonight. He is 7 for 7. In fact, Pike has shot very well at the free throw line. 64-51. You see the score. Pike has that lead. Once they got in front by 13, and well, actually 7 in the first period, they were very much in command the rest of the way. Pike 7 for 9 from the line this period. Hoagie forcing it at the other end, getting it right back on the field goal. He has 5 field goals and 6 out of 7 from the free throw line this period alone. He has 35 points tonight. Make it 34 points. Hoagie drops it down inside. Good pass. Bucket by Scott Curry. His first 2 of the game. 20 seconds to play. 65-55. The steal up course by Roberson. They get it out to Hoagie again. Knocked away. Fine defensive play that time by David Gaddis. I'll make it brother Matt Gaddis. And in the corner, a foul. Roberson picks up number 4. So for all intents and purposes, the game in history. 6 seconds to go. 10-point lead by The Red Devils of Pike High School, that'll run their record to 2-0 with wins over Ben Davis and now Speedway. And the Plugs, of course, looking at an 0-2 mark after losing to Beech Grove in the opener. Speedway will play Ben Davis on the 23rd and Mooresville on the 30th, both at home at Speedway. You Plugs fans, try to get out and follow this ball club. Pike goes to Beech Grove on the 24th, to Zionsville on the 30th, and they host Perry Meridian on December 1st. And a good round of applause for number 10, David Gaddis, who is out of the ball game, and what an effort this youngster had tonight. I've got him for 26 points. David Gaddis, 6-foot senior. Remember that name because he's going to be one of the top names you'll be hearing all season long in high school basketball and probably in years to come in the college ranks. Mike Whiteside, 6'2", senior with 6 points, is at the line. Rebounded and put back up. Won't fall. Up by jump and goal. Jay Jump gets his 14th point of the game is history. And the Pike Red Devils have picked up their second triumph of the year. An impressive 67-55 victory over the Speedway Spark Plugs. And we'll be back with our post-game festivities in just a moment.
My mom's the greatest. She takes such good care of our family. She's even found us a better bathroom tissue. Hey, Mom, tell them about it.
It's a new kind of tissue. Certain cleansing bathroom tissue. An important discovery for me and my family. Because Certain is made for more thorough cleansing. Certain combines 2 exclusive cleansing features no other bathroom tissue has. First, Certain has lotion. Gentle cleansing lotion. You can feel it on every sheet, so you know you can count on Certain's cleansing. Next, there's a special cleansing texture. It's deep quilted for added effectiveness. In fact, Certain's combination of lotion and texture has actually improved my family's hygiene.
Until Mom bought us Certain, I thought all bathroom tissues were the same.
But Certain is different. Its cleansing is so effective, we even feel fresh.
And that's a nice feeling to have.
Certain cleansing bathroom tissue, now at popular prices.
At Hooks, we know that wheelchair patients need special products and special advice. And here at our Convalescent Aid Center, we stock a wide selection, so you're sure to find a wheelchair to fit your particular needs. Like these reclining and high back models, special leg lifts, removable arms, extra wide or lightweight chairs are custom designed, and some even electronically controlled. For complete convalescent care products, visit Hooks Convalescent Aids and Sick Room Supply Center.
When you're suffering on a diet, let Weight Watchers tempt you.
Veal Parmesan? For me?
Weight Watchers makes the Italian dishes you love without the guilt you hate.
CD macaroni on a diet?
Go ahead. Give in to temptation. Weight Watchers frozen meals. The temptation you don't have to resist.
Tempt me.
Lasagna.
Jerry Baker back at the Pike High School Gymnasium. Morris Pollard has joined me alongside. And Morris, I said that you don't like to lose. The final was 67-55. At one point, you were down by 22. And I said one of the things I wanted to ask you was your reaction to what I thought was a gutsy effort by your ball club in that fourth period when it looked like school was all but out. And they came roaring back to cut that lead to 9. That's a pretty good showing for your game.
That shows a little character, Jerry, and we've got that. I think we learned a lot tonight about our kids, and when it was 9, we missed a wide open layup after that too.
Right.
That was 7, and maybe a 3. But no, we learned some things tonight that we wanted to see, and I think we'll win some ball games.
You told me that rebounding was a big concern to you, and I think it showed up a little bit tonight.
It still is a big concern, but you look down the bench, and the boys that are out there are going to have to do it because we don't have anybody any bigger. We got some other kids that'll play that hard. But these boys that played tonight are going to have to win for us, and they will. We got another tough one Friday. We'll learn some more, and we'll be all right.
You've got Ben Davis, then you've got Mooresville. You'll be ready for those guys.
Right. After Friday night, I think we'll be ready for a lot of tough teams.
I'll tell you, Morris, you've seen them all over the years. It's been a pleasure being with you tonight. Thanks for your hospitality and courtesy, and I hope we'll get a chance to see you along the trail somewhere else this year.
Thank you, Jerry. It's been an honor for our school and community to be on the program.
Nice of you to say so. Thank you very kindly. Morris Pollard, head basketball coach with the Speedway Spark Plugs. We'll try to get Ed Siegel in here and talk with Ed. the victorious coach. Ed, congratulations. The Pike Ball Club now 2-0, and I asked Morris how he felt during that stretch when they came from 22 back to chop it down to 9 and got the basketball back again. I told the viewers I'd get your reaction. I don't think yours is going to be quite as positive as his was.
No, I take some of the blame myself because we had the big lead, and I thought it was a chance to get some of the other kids in the ball game. And, well, just like one kid forgets to report, and he stepped up there, and they hit 3 free throws in a row. And, you know, little things like that. It's early in the season, so I want to get the kids in the ball game, and I got them in. So I'll take the blame for blowing an early lead.
Let me ask you, early in this ball game, it was tied at 8, and all of a sudden you ran out in front 18-11. Did you make an adjustment, or was there a problem on Speedway's part? What caused that big turnaround?
Well, we made 2 adjustments. One adjustment we made defensively to really start shutting off the middle more and getting more help side defense. And we didn't think that we were playing very good position defense, or we were not checking off. And we got on our kids about rebounding, checking off, and shutting the middle off. That's the Speedway ball game down the middle. They've always been great at that. The other thing we did was we changed a couple of things offensively. We started getting some picks for Gaddis because we felt like we'd come back weak side and get him for a shot.
Hoagie, I thought, forced a lot of shots early in this ball game, but Eddie came up with 34 points against your ball club tonight, 16 of those in the final period. Even if he did force some, he's a pretty good little basketball player.
Oh, yes. The way we looked at it, Hoagie is a fine ball player. But, I don't know, this, of course, my theory is that one man can't be 5.
Right.
And so he was doing every bit of their work for him. He was doing all their scoring. So Hoagie's got 34, and then it drops off to 10, then 2, then 3, then 6. Well, then you look down here, and we see 26, 8, 12, 14.
Well-balanced scoring.
And as a result, that was my thinking. You know, a couple of kids said, man, we got to shut him off. And I said, hey, we're going to play straight head up on him. He's a fine ball player. He's going to shoot the ball. And then if I was Morris, I'd let him shoot the ball, too.
Ed, it's been a pleasure being out at your school. The first time we've had an opportunity to be here. Thank you for all your hospitality and courtesy. And as I told Morris, may we meet again somewhere along the way.
I want to thank you. The Indiana Basketball Coaches Association thinks you are our #1 friend. I'll tell you that.
I appreciate that. Thanks again, Ed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ed Siegel, the basketball coach. All right. With the final score 67-55, Pike winning. We'll come back and take a little look at the individual stats after this timeout.
Pain, headache pain, pain, minor arthritis pain, pain, muscle pain. Relief is Anacin. Of the 3 leading pain relievers, only Anacin is a special combination of medical ingredients. Relief is Anacin, fast relief. Relief is Anacin, hours of relief. Relief is Anacin, effective relief. Relief is Anacin.
This weekend, become a great discoverer. Come to Lucky Steer. You'll discover a fine restaurant where you place your order and we take over from there. Variety is the word at our salad bar, and freshness is always in season. You'll discover our cooks care for perfection, and our people just care. All in an atmosphere that makes you want to linger over dessert. Discover Lucky Steer this weekend, and you'll know why. We're more than a steakhouse.
Well, I've been all around this Circle City town, been a-looking for a car, been a-looking up and down. I bet 4 fits I get a better deal with the good old boys at Plainfield, where they got a lot of Ford and they got a lot of Buicks, little ones, big ones sitting in a row. Mustang, Fairmont, Jeep, American, priced a little lower than a dealer ought to go.
The Plainfield Auto Dealers are really dealing on a fine selection of 1980 cars and trucks. Come on over to Plainfield and get yourself a real deal.
The HR carpet cleaning system.
HR? Why HR?
Because HR has high-quality products and 20 years experience. For me, that adds up to the right way to clean our carpets. The HR way. The HR system forces dual detergents deep into carpets, then vacuums up deep down dirt.
Looks like a professional did it.
Lots less money, too.
That's what I call the right way.
The HR way.
Rent HR at your local Marsh Supermarket.
I'm liable to get hung if I don't make reference to this. The Speedway Varsity Reserve Club is sitting over here right now. They asked me to mention that they did win their ball game tonight, 36-34. We all square, gang? All right. George Groskoff, who is the athletic director at Pike High School, has joined me here. George, I want to take a second, since you wore your television coat tonight, I want to make sure you got on. And I want to say thanks for the hospitality provided our entire Channel 4 crew tonight here at Pike High School.
We appreciate having you out here tonight there and showing off our facilities and our little shots in school. And we're sure glad we won the ball game tonight.
All right, you put on a good show. Thanks again. We'll be back to see you sometime in the future, near future then.
Very good. Thank you.
George Groskoff, the athletic director. Briefly, in the individual scoring columns tonight, for the victorious Pike Red Devils, they were led by David Gaddis, who had 26 points, including 14 in the first period. Also in twin figures, Jay Jump off the bench with 14. Joe Kimbrough with 12 points. Matt Gaddis had 8, 6 points out of Mike Whiteside, and a couple of points from Kit Tram tonight. For Speedway, only one, make it 2-minute double figures. Craig Hoagie had an outstanding ball game, 34 points tonight, 18 of those going into the third quarter when he went for 16 more in the third period, 5 field goals, 6 out of 7 from the free throw line. 10 points for Doug Roberson, 6 points tonight from Jim Butterworth off the bench, 3 points out of Joe Dunn. The other 2 belong to Scott Curry. 67-55, final. Pike wins it. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hello, I'm Lloyd Walker in downtown Greenwood, home of famous brand clothing at discount prices. And now for a limited time only, we have the greatest store-wide price break in our history. Our entire stock of wool and poly 3-piece vested suits, regularly $195, now $79.90. Ladies, this Derby casual leather coat at $200 is now just $119. This pile line storm coat, regularly $65, now $24.88. Once you shop the Lloyd Walker's way, you will never pay full retail again.
If it's important to your health, it's important to Hooks. That's why we carry the Polynex Portable Whirlpool. Polynex helps soothe away minor aches, pains, and tension by combining heat and hydromassage. 7 water settings allow you to choose what's most comfortable for you. And the new lighter weight Polynex is easier to store and handle. Ask your Hooks pharmacist in Green for Polynex Portable Whirlpool. And for all your healthcare needs, turn to Hooks, dependable drugstores.
This is Walt Garrison for Echo Chainsaws. I believe in them, because Echo builds them extra tough and easy to start. Echo cut through this timber almost as easy as I used to cut through some pretty tough linebackers. That's because Echo builds them extra tough and easy to start.
Mower Shop, Ellettsville, and Mike Lewis Lawn Equipment, Noblesville.
This ball game tonight pretty well settled early on. At the outset of the ball game, Pike and Speedway tied 4 different times, 2-4, 6, and 8. And then at the end of the first period, it was 18-11, which meant that the Red Devils outscored the Plugs by a count of 10-3, and that pretty much told the tale. At halftime, it was 32-21. At the end of 3, 52-31, the lead getting to 22 points. Speedway came back and chopped it to 9 and had the basketball and right back in the game with about 2 minutes to go. And the final was 67-55. Now again, next week, we'll be at the Wigwam in Anderson for a game between the Anderson Indians, preseason ranked number 2, and the Marion Giants, preseason ranked number 20 in the state. That'll be a good one. It's at 9 o'clock next Wednesday night. I think I may have said 2 weeks down the pike. I should have said 3 weeks away. We'll have Lawrence North and Beech Grove. So just jot those down on your calendar and plan to be with us on our TV4 Game of the Week. We'll take a moment now and thank the technical and production crews for tonight's telecast. Our executive producer is Don Tillman. Our producer also Don Tillman this evening. Peter Mago is our director out on the truck. Studio coordinator was Bob Caldwell. Our slow-motion replay operation by Paul Ernst. Video by Jim Miller, Mike Meddert, Bob Stothfang, and Roy Smith. Audio by Mark Emmons and Fred Lawrence. Our camera folks tonight, Nelson Hastings, Susan Reese, and Chris Carson. Jim Dix was our floor director, and the halftime profiles produced by Chris Carson. Any reproduction of our telecast is strictly forbidden without the express written permission of WTTV, who also has approval of the announcers used in our telecast. This is Jerry Baker saying please be with us again next Wednesday, November the 28th at 9 o'clock, when the game of the week will be Anderson's Indians against the Marion Giants from the Wigwam in Anderson. Final score again was 67-55. Pike wins it over Speedway. Jerry Baker saying so long for now.
Tonight's Indiana High School Game of the Week has been brought to you in part by American Fletcher National Bank. American Fletcher says, we want to be your bank. And by your Hooks Dependable Drugstores. Let us be the one. Jerry Baker appears to the courtesy of WIBC. This has been a Channel 4 sports presentation.
The Cousteau Odyssey is made possible under a grant from the Atlantic Richfield Company.
So you consider the river water as a crop?
Well, it is a national resource. I think this fresh water going through our lakes is now clear, not totally fresh, poor in nutrient salts than before, and so it must affect also the eastern part of the Mediterranean.
Decreased flow of Nile water reaching the Mediterranean, do you know what effect it has on the sea?
Well, you see, on the sea, you mean?
On the sea.
On the sea. No, I don't think there is any effect of that.
So actually we have 90% of the total yearly discharge has been prevented from reaching the Mediterranean. This will actually change it drastically.
This lack of fresh water, these changes that are happening here, will affect the entire Mediterranean.
In its northward journey through half the African continent, the Nile crosses not only distance, but time. For uncounted centuries, the river has mirrored the passage of men and animals that have drawn life from it. A life often little changed since the first farmers came to its desert valley. Their existence regulated by the rise and fall of the river, many of the peasants or fellaheen still water their fields and turn the soil with tools unchanged since recorded history began. The fellaheen endure. The early civilizations out of which they came have long since vanished, leaving behind their burial chambers and broken temples, mute testaments of past glory and the brief tenure of power. Today, a new civilization stands on the Nile. But, as the Cousteau team discovers, the present, no less than the past, still owes its existence to the river. Year by year, more lives are suspended on the river's slender thread. In the expanding cities of Egypt and the Sudan, in Cairo and Khartoum, in Alexandria or Juba, the populations multiply, threaten to outpace the food supplied by the river's narrow margin of fertile earth. Egypt remains, as an early historian described it, the gift of the Nile, a crowded oasis locked in the immense emptiness of the desert. To meet growing needs, men have built huge structures across the Nile, turned the river god into a servant. But sometimes technology itself creates new dangers, threatens the very human ends it tries to serve.
Our problem begins in 1960, when the Egyptian government determined to build the high dam and the government told us to get out from here to New Halfa, but we refused.
For most of its course, since early history, the Nile has provided a clearly marked path between Central Africa and the sea. But in southern Sudan, in the vast marshlands of the Sud, even the river seems to lose its way. Below Philippe Cousteau and the Catalina spreads a watery archipelago as large as England. Through the maze of channels that in the past sometimes took months to cross, the barge carrying the men and vehicles of the Cousteau Overland team threads its way north toward Rendezvous. In this great shallow basin, where the upper Nile loses half its water through evaporation, an endlessly varied life shares sanctuary. Here, hidden amid the drifting masses of water hyacinth and papyrus that often clog the channels, thousands of scattered tribesmen, Nuer, Dinka, or Shilluk, live in a world apart. Changing yet changeless, the Nile flows through their lives, its seasonal rise and fall the stately measures of eternity. As plane and barge make rendezvous in the northern stretches of the Sud, Philippe and his companions change transport for a further journey. By swamp vehicle, they penetrate the domain of one of the remaining tribal monarchs, still formally recognized by the Sudanese government. Like the river itself, the king of the Shilluks too is a symbol of eternity. Here, posing for Philippe with his family, with his possessions and his prized herds of cattle, with Sudanese representatives and his private guard, he is a living link between past and future, the visible assurance of tribal continuity. because Chiluk legend still celebrates an earlier French visitor, Captain Jean-Baptiste Marchand, who led an historic march across Africa more than 8 decades ago. Philippe and the team are honored with a ceremonial display. Later, in audience with the kings, Philippe is shown faded photographs of the king's ancestor with Captain Marchand, whose small party, well supplied with champagne, briefly challenged British power on the Nile.
I would like to know from His Majesty what part of the Nile does his kingdom cover?
Referred to the council, Philippe's question is answered by a spokesman, saying the king's authority extends over a wide area of the Sud. But for the king of the Shiluks and the river gods of the Nile, eternity is coming to an end. A new god has come to rule. Across the land, a great rotary excavating machine is cutting the Jonglei Canal, a 200-mile trench which will provide a year-round waterway between north and south, drain vast areas of the Sud, and carry the marshland waters to irrigation tracts downstream. But as Philippe learns from a project engineer, many of the canal's uses and its impact on people, animals, plants, and weather are still largely undefined.
Dans le dessin technique du canal, tel qu'il est maintenant, est-ce qu'il est prévu de s'en servir pour l'irrigation de la campagne?
Asked if the canal will allow cheap irrigation by gravity flow, Engineer Voronkov replies that the canal level will not be high enough for such a system. Instead, a large network of pumping stations will be required for water distribution.
Il y a des stations de pompage.